Hello everyone. My name is Saroyan. Thank you so much for coming to my talk. Today, my talk is about building your own AI agent. And I'm thrilled to share that my book, Generative AI for Web Development, got published by APRIS. So if you're interested in learning about generative AI in web development, check it out. And today I'm excited to share how AI agents work and what you can do with them in web development with the goal of helping you build your own AI agents. Today's agenda is we will start with what an agent is and then continue with building agents with an overview of how to do it with OpenAI APIs and the ADK. And then we will talk about the project idea that we have, the conversational story agent. And then I will talk about the tech stack, the architecture of the agent, and the key features that it has. And then I will show how this story agent works, and we will dive into the code as well. And we will conclude with key takeaways and further reading about this topic. In general, an agent is something, a person, program, or system that acts on behalf of someone or something else to achieve a goal. But what is an AI agent? An AI agent is a computer program that uses artificial intelligence to perceive information that can be an input from the environment, from the users, and then it also reasons and decides what to do using different rules, models, tools. And OpenAI offers a powerful set of composable building blocks that make it easy to create and customize agents. And if you check out the link, they have their definition of agents. That agents represent systems that intelligently accomplish tasks ranging from executing simple workflows to pursuing complex open-ended objectives. So let's take a quick look at the key features of an AI agent and the core components that enable it to function. Key features of an AI agent are the following. An AI agent is autonomous. It can act without constant step-by-step instructions. The second feature is that it is goal-directed. It is designed to accomplish a specific task or objective. The third one is that it is interactive. It often talks with users in natural language. And the fourth one is that it uses tools. For example, it may call APIs, it may search the web, or use databases to get things done. So basically, an agent is a chatbot with tools. Building agents with OpenAI APIs, it's really about using these models, tools, knowledge and memory, audio and speech, guardrails, orchestration, everything that OpenAI provides for building agents. If we think about the models that it provides, I think the key here is actually paying attention to what model you are picking for your project, because that is really important. And the OpenAI models support a wide range of capabilities. There are reasoning models, models that make decisions, process different modalities, and at the core of an agent are the models. They are the brain of the agent. Then we have tools which allow the agent to take actions beyond just text, like calling APIs or retrieving some data. And then we have the knowledge and the memory. Let's go back. It helps us by giving some context to the agent. And then actually it helps the agent by giving some context. And then also there is the audio and speech. If you, for example, want to build a voice agent, then you can use the APIs for audio or the real-time API, and it will go beyond the text conversations. Of course, it's very important to think about the safety and security aspects. So the tools, OpenAI supports function calling and built-in tools. As I said, you can search the web, retrieve some data. Also, it can even search something in your local machine. And these tasks, OpenAI supports this function calling, and it has built-in tools to connect with your code and enable agents to interact with the world. And then the knowledge and the memory. So data integration is, again, an important part. So it's using OpenAI's vector stores and embeddings API to store some data, and you are going to use vector stores for that. The audio and speech, as I said, creating agents that can understand audio is basically the voice agents, and they can also respond back. You can do it using the real-time API, the GPT real-time, and also there is voice support in the ADK. So building agents is a process, and OpenAI's Agents SDK is for Python and TypeScript. And what it is, basically it's a game changer because it helps, it makes it very easy to build agents. It provides a lot of structure and a lot of tools, and it has components that makes this process, agent building, easier and faster. And today I'll show you how to build one. It's going to be a web-based conversational story agent. So for this project, we're going to use OpenAI APIs, Next.js, and LangChain. These are the main things. And we're going to call the OpenAI APIs GPT-4o and DALL-E 3 to generate text and an illustration. LangChain is going to help us together with the GPT-4 and also the like function calling, and Next.js is basically the app, the front end, and also the back end. So we're going to use OpenAI SDK with function calling, GPT-4o for story generation, plus DALL-E 3 for illustrations, and for enhanced conversation processing, LangChain with GPT-4o. So the architecture key components for this project, the main agent, I used Cursor to build this project. The main agent is stored in the file simple story agent.js. Then we have the API endpoint file and then front end. So we're going to use React for the interface, for real-time updates, and story display. The API endpoint is REST API. It handles HTTP requests, agent management, and response handling. And the main agent is the main part where we will go dive deeper into the OpenAI integration, direct API calls. We're going to make to GPT-4o and DALL-E 3. Then we have also LangChain integration for enhanced conversation processing, function calling, smart story element extraction, and story generation, which is the complete story creation with illustrations. This is the file structure, the main agent, API endpoint, and all the dependencies. So key features of the conversational story agent. So the key thing is that we are going to have hybrid architecture. OpenAI SDK plus LangChain, they work together very well. Function calling, AI can use tools intelligently. That's the key, that it's part of the agent SDK concept. We're going to have multimodal output, text plus illustrations. Context management, it maintains conversation history and story elements, and also real-time processing. We are going to have immediate feedback and updates. This is the implementation of OpenAI Agent SDK. The thing is that the current OpenAI Agents package is very early still, so it doesn't have the full API yet. That's why I implemented the Agent SDK patterns using the OpenAI function calling. That's the core of Agent SDK. Tool-based architecture, that's the SDK pattern. Structured conversation management, that's the SDK approach. And LangChain integration, that's for enhanced processing. Yeah? Sorry? What did you ask?
If you could just show us again the slide before this one.
This one?
The file structure, yes.
Uh-huh. Sorry. Yeah, you can take a picture.
Thank you.
And yeah, so let's now go into the agent, how the story agent works. So basically, the first is the user input. We're going to say, I want to create a story about a detective in Victorian London. And then element extraction, that's length chain processing. Agent extracts character and then setting, which is the Victorian London, and our character is detective. And then the OpenAI function calling, context building, user adds more details. For example, you can add the genre, you can add the tone or plot. Then story generation. When it's ready, it generates complete story with LangChain plus GPT-4o. And then illustration, DALL-E 3 creates matching artwork, and it displays the story plus the illustration to the user. So the complete story display. So this is the architecture flow of the project. So if you, so here we gave that I want to create a story, and now we have the story and the illustration. Actually, if you do this again, I want to mention that if you're going to use cursor, for example, you need, and not just cursor, but for building this agent, you need your to generate the OpenAI API key, and you paste it in this .env file, and then you can continue building. So this is the agent, and why this is not, yeah. Yeah, when you are building this agent, you are going to call OpenAI API. So you need to have your key generated in the OpenAI. If you go to openai.com to your profile, and then you can generate the key. And you should copy paste that in that and save in that file, .env file, so that you can use the APIs. Okay. Yeah, so why I want to highlight why this is not just a chatbot and this is an agent. Because it extracts structured data from natural language, it makes decisions about when to generate stories. When we give this like prompt, I want to create a story, it actually does this under the hood automatically. It makes decisions, and then it uses multiple AI models, and then it maintains conversation context. So what makes this agent-like is that it's autonomous decision-making. AI chooses when to use tools. The tool usage, it can interact with external functions, like function calling. Structured data, it converts natural language to structured data, and state management updates internal state based on tools that based on tool results. So it actually behaves like this. Like I said, it receives user message, and then it thinks, should I use the extract story elements function or no? And then it decides, yes, this message, for example, contains story elements that I should extract. That's the character, and that's also the setting. And then it calls the function with the character and the setting, the parameters that you gave. So that's why it's an agent, because it behaves autonomously and it acts to achieve the goal, which is the whole story creation from start to finish. Let's dive into the code a bit.
Does that mean that when you go to a regular OpenAI and ChatGPT, and you can do the same thing just in the chat window? Does that make that an agent?
No, you can. No, with ChatGPT, you should give step-by-step instructions and use prompting strategies, for example, chain of thought, because chatbot, it's a chatbot. It responds to your questions, and it does not. You should prompt it step by step by giving.
Can't give you this kind of story just from the initial prompt.
You can, but then it won't. give you the same this type of result.
Would you like some other result, but like still a little bit unclear, like why is this more of an agent than like if you get a story from both, then you even get one with a picture from regular. Is that wrong? Like, should we try it? Like, it seems like
You can't do it in your own environment. Like with that, with the agent, you would do your own coding
right. You would do it on in their portal. Like,
continue with the presentation, and we can ask questions again.
Okay, so OpenAI SDK plus LangChain integration. We're importing the OpenAI, and this is the LangChain OpenAI package, and we need this Zode, which is TypeScript like library for schema validation and for data validation. And this shows that these technologies actually they work together very well. And OpenAI SDK we use for direct API access, LangChain for enhanced processing, and Zode for type safety. And then LangChain integration with GPT-4 for enhanced conversation processing. We use Chat OpenAI. We call Chat OpenAI, and then GPT-4o, the model, and OpenAI API key. So LangChain provides enhanced conversation management and better context understanding, which means that you're importing a LangChain class around OpenAI's chat models and Chat OpenAI class. And then, so you do this step for to integrate LangChain with GPT-4o. And then OpenAI function calling. Here, this is the key part that you're using auto. That's why it does all the things automatically that I was speaking about. And this is the core of the agent SDK. OpenAI's function calling allows the AI to use tools intelligently, and you first call the API, and this is the second part of the code, and you call the API, you specify the model, GPT-4o, and the function calling is for story element extraction, because when you, for example, give the prompt, let's say you say, this is the character, I want to create a story with this character, and then with this setting, it extracts that information because it already had that, using those parameters. It does that automatically. And then it also stores that, and then it can then continue building on that, continue building the story on that. Yeah, I think that we can move to LangChain integration. So here, using the invoke, LangChain provides enhanced conversation processing. The invoke method is actually used for conversation prompt, and it's better than actually direct OpenAI calls. And LangChain handles context management and conversation flow better. LangChain story generation. LangChain's invoke method provides streamlined API calls with enhanced processing context management for better conversation flow. So LangChain is also used for story generation, and this shows how we use the same technology for different purposes. And LangChain's enhanced processing creates better stories. And then DALL-E 3 integration, it generates illustrations that match the story content, and DALL-E 3 generates these illustrations for the story. And this shows also that multimodal AI, that it's both like text and image generation, and then the AI creates the content and the visual. So after also calling the DALL-E, we get the whole story, and the key takeaways are that an AI that has the ability to think, decide, and act using tools is an agent that we created. And the AI agent core was the OpenAI function calling. It's multimodal AI because it generates both text and images and calls both GPT and DALL-E. And also the agent decision making that we showed how it behaves autonomously and how it makes decisions on its own. So this isn't just a chatbot. It's an agent, and it's an agent because it can use tools intelligently through function calling. And we're using both OpenAI and LangChain because to get better results. And multimodal AI is the AI that creates both text and images. And the agent makes autonomous decisions about when to act and how to achieve the goal of creating the story. So if you want to learn more, as I said, my book is a practical guide, and the project that we built is included in my book. But there are also two other projects, and you can use the source code is on GitHub, so you can use it as a base to build your own agents or customize your own agents. Just use the Springer link if you're interested to learn more about it, and you can use the link to the source code also in the Springer. So you can reach me on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to connect and chat about my book. Thank you very much.
Folks have questions? You have a microphone.
Thank you. So did you create the whole thing with another language model? Like, were you, everything you showed was file structure, or you created, was that also with another LLM? Or like, how did you go about creating it?
No, it was with OpenAI. It
with
was
APIs from OpenAI, like the infrastructure around it, like maybe the front end, or whatever.
Next.js. The front end is like React. So I used TypeScript, JavaScript, Next.js, and then I used ChatGPT. I used OpenAI APIs, the APIs, and then I used LangChain and the SDK for TypeScript.
No, yeah, you could say that you didn't have to.
GPT-4o I used. What was your question?
To set up the project itself, like which, you had the file structure, you had a variety of files there, like whatever. So what did you use to set up that project? Like which IDE or
I used Cursor. It's an AI native IDE.
Right. So you pretty much didn't have to code any of it yourself. You've used, so you created the agent with other LLM tools. Is that fair to say?
No, I used Cursor to, I firstly just built a simple, like not an agent, and then I used Cursor to enhance it. So I asked Cursor to make this more agentic, and then the project uses GPT-4o, DALL-E, and those technologies that I mentioned. And actually, I had to iterate a couple of times because Cursor was not, so I tested manually because it does not give the right things at once. Yeah, and also a couple of times, of course. Was that the question, sir?
Kinda. I mean, yeah, let's see the next question. Maybe we'll go into that. GPT thing.
Okay, yeah, let's get more questions, yeah. So,
Thank you very much for the talk. It's very good work, and I'm coming a little late. I'm sorry, but it's one question I have is that this thing can be used for your like a simple story generation agent, can be used for like some kind of resume modification. So can you like the same idea, like according to some different kind of job description, you can automatically by this generate the resume. Can they do that?
Using the same architecture?
Yeah, same user.
I haven't tried such a thing, but maybe it might have a little bit different architecture. It really depends on your use case, so what kind of tools you're using or technologies and what architecture it has. I haven't tried building such a thing, but of course you can definitely do it using the models.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just a question in terms of like formal development. How would you, develop unit tests to, continually add to the application if you were starting like this?
You can write unit tests and then.
What would they look like? Does it need to be deterministic in some sort, or as far as the agent outputting?
Oh, I think there are tools that you can use to test agents, specifically for agents, but you can also write your unit tests as well.
I got lots of thoughts on that one. You write evals. Always set up your evals
Yes.
for your agents. And always make sure you set up evals that are preferably programmatic, not LLM as a judge. Programmatic evals on your outputs. So you can do regex parsing on outputs. That's a great thing you can do. If you can do keyword searching, ensuring keywords are out there, that's a great thing. If you end up doing LLM as a judge, you just end up wrangling a second LLM. You have to align with your preferences. Not the most fun.
Other questions? Way down. Take it all down. This might work after.
Thank you so much for sharing. I had a question around LangChain. If you hadn't used LangChain in your architecture, how would this AI agent act differently? So I'm struggling to understand what LangChain offers to this AI agent.
I don't know what would be different exactly because I used it from the start. I didn't add it like later. Yeah, it actually it's for like it makes it like more context aware, and it's one of the things that integrated like it helps extracting the like the story elements when you are, for example, giving this like you are giving this prompt. It helps with that you are putting detective in Victorian London. It helps with understanding like what data it needs to, like where this should go, and then what data it needs to extract. And then it also stores all this like information and the inputs that you give for later like content generation. It helps with that process. After you give the input, it helps with that process.
Thank you for this. Just a quick question on like, how do you actually evaluate if the story that the agent is providing is good? Like, what sort of criteria do you use? Not just like from a technical perspective, but like, how do you know if the story is not a bunch of bullshit, basically?
Yeah, this story actually was not very long, so I was able to read it, and I liked it.
Sure.
I think that that's, of course, an interesting point when it comes to especially deploying or integrating with real-world like applications. I think that overall, I think it's pretty good quality. I try to do lots of things like manually, like reading it and trying to see whether I like it or no, or whether I like the illustration or no, and things like that. Of course, but that's important to do because otherwise it might, yes, give very bad like content and.
Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is this. That's a very subjective thing, right? You liking the story.
Yes.
Like if 20 people have 20 agents
That's
that have
why.
20 stories, how do you create something more objective to evaluate what is the better storyteller?
Yeah, I think that's why actually I titled it Building Your Own Agent, because you should customize it the way you want. So this is something like more, I think, from the objective, like from that angle, something like that you can follow, like an architecture, how to do it. But then when it comes to building your own, you customize it the way you want. And that's about that content and other things, that the story itself. So I don't think there is or I'm not sure there is the one exact like standard or something that I'm aware of, but it comes down to like customizing it to your own needs.
Okay. Quick follow-up. So let's say, again, this is a conversational sort of storytelling agent, and you're having a conversation with them. You're like, hey, I want you to summarize lesser. I want you to like basically make it short and like change the temperature, make it a little bit more raunchy. Even though you have defined these parameters in the backend, is that something the user can sort of change while having the conversation?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You give the parameters, like you give the values to it, yeah.
So yeah, I have a follow-on question to his. I was wondering, with OpenAI, you had talked about guardrails. Does it offer an API for governance to make sure there's no, as you mentioned, maybe you want it punchy, but just to ensure that the output is clean and meets certain guardrails?
I think it does, but it's not that much my area of, yeah. You can check out, I think it does something. It's a recent thing, yeah.
How much time you spend on building this agent?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it, for example, I think I spent, as I said, I iterated over it. So maybe for the first attempt, it's like 3 hours or 3 to 5 hours. And then I did a couple more like iterations. So I actually worked on this several days.
Do you have the programming background?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for interesting presentation. I'm just curious about, this is not my main areas, but I'm just curious about your system is different from just calling out the OpenAI API. Like Python can do I think, calling the API, and sequentially calling the API is different things the agent or similar things?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay,
Sorry.
so
Yeah.
maybe I think sequentially you can call the OpenAI directly by, let's say, Python. Is it same? That type of approach can be considered as agent or just program?
No, if you're just calling the API, it's for it to be an agent, it should be more like doing more autonomous and doing things automatically. Like just calling the API and it's not enough to be an agent.
But your system is just sequentially calling the API by using the LangChain, I suppose.
No, I think the thing is more like yes, I'm calling the API, but also like integrate.
I think the prompt into your code, so image prompt also the
yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it seems that to me, I think it's just calling the API sequentially, I suppose.
No, actually, it's more like, I think you can further improve this if you're interested. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we can talk after this. Yeah.
So I'm pretty new to like the whole LLM thing, and I'm just curious. So is LangChain kind of like Airflow for LLMs in a way, like for orchestrating components and things like that?
Yeah, it's an open source framework.
And so, like, when you are using that, like, user inputs some prompt, right? And do you end up with like different responses based on what the user's been saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So like that's different than just calling a chatbot, because
yes.
It's like responding. It has different, like you have this set of components. You could like swap them out. You could use, I don't know, some other model besides OpenAI.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So I think that's the difference that people were getting at.
Yeah.
Hi, I was just wondering, how do you go about choosing the tools, the functions, and configure all these options? There's every single talk I've seen, they seem to pull out all these tools. You talked about the Lang tool. I don't know how you go about choosing them. They just comes out of nowhere. So.
Yeah, I used OpenAI, for example, because of what I've done in my book. Basically, I used, as I said, one of the projects that uses OpenAI APIs and Next.js and try to make it more agentic. So I used that as a base, and it was already with OpenAI. And when I started it, actually, OpenAI was the first that, yes, OpenAI was the first that that's why I started with OpenAI. It's just, but I think the model doesn't really matter because all models are good. I mean, if it's Gemini or it's something else, or you can try with other models as well. It's just about experimenting and trying to see which one works better or which one you like, and yeah.
I'll add that you can do, you can write your own tools at times, like some they can be Python functions, or you can, if as a segue to the next step, if you set up an MCP server, those MCP servers can be exposed to your agent as tools as well. Any other questions?
Hi. Here. Yeah, thank you for the talk. I just wanted to ask you, like, how do you make sure this is reproducible? So, like, how to make sure, like, you get the same story with the same input?
You don't get the same story. It gives different stories.
So, if we implement, let's say, for something like review a product, if one customer asks, how is this product? It gives you some reply, and some other customer asks, like, might give you some other reply, right? So.
No, for that type of use case, it's of course it's different. But in this case, I didn't think about that.
There are ways out you can do structured generation, for example.
So can you like make the prompt static? No. Okay.
Thank you for sharing. So one question is, you just mentioned you can customize your story. Do you mean you can put in different prompt, or you can change the coding to customize your story?
You can change it.
Coding?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a little bit different question, going off on a little bit of a tangent, but how would you recommend creating an agent that would edit video reels, like your own raw photos or your own raw, videos, and you want to create an agent to edit those video reels? I think you'd have to use different tools, but would you know of any, or anyone in the audience know of any tools or resources that you would go to? I mean, you use CapCut and such things like that if you're using it yourself, if you're doing it yourself. But if you had an agent edit the video reels for you, what would you recommend?
I'm not sure if anyone knows.
OpenAI is going to release the Sora API soon. And Sora will let you do video generation, probably also video editing. I checked with an agent.
What would change in the framework itself? Like, it would be calling a different model. Let's say this the one you mentioned, but like, would the flow would be similar? LangChain.
Sora is for video.
So if you use a different model, if you plug in the different model into LangChain, would it give you? Would you be able to reuse what parts of this agent that you had shown can you reuse for a different purpose? Can you reuse any of it, or every agent is completely different?
You can, but depends on what you want to do.
Let's say that use case.
The video?
Yeah, let's say that use case, you had that diagram.
No, that's a different, Sora is specifically for videos. This is not for video. This is for text generation.
Right. So are there parts of an agent?
Yeah, for GPT-4o and DALL-E 3 are for text and image generation. So you should call a different model, or you should use a different tool for that.
We have one more question, follow-up question back here.
Okay, this is more related to the agents that you've built to create a story. How do you feel developing this yourself is different from what you can get right now on the internet? There are AI agents, Meta AI or Grok, that would develop a story for you if you ask them to develop a story for you. How do you feel this is different, or how could you use this in more ways to create more stories for yourself?
I think this is just an example or a way of how you can do it, like how you can build a story